Welcome back. So I was running a Zoom class the other day, and a subject come up, and I was thinking about doing a video on things that shouldn't be said during mediumship. Then a student asked me a question on a scenario, and I thought, right, it's time for that video. It's time to put it out there. And it can fall under the banner of ethics within mediumship. Now, the video can take hours. We can go over every scenario, every variable that goes with that. But there's going to be some main ones that people see very regular, you've heard very regular, and no one ever really talks about it or brings it up. It's always behind closed doors. And the channels for information, it's something that can help you with your mediumship. If you're unaware of why or why not say these things. So I thought it would be a good point to do it. So there will be bits that are controversial, maybe. Some people may be offended. I don't mean to cause offense, and it's just part of it. But something does need to be said, maybe give you a different perspective of why not to say it. So I'll try and keep the video short, but it may run longer than usual. So one that we had the other day was about a young child that come forward to a developing medium, a training medium. And many people have had this on many occasions. The difference with this one was it didn't make full term during the pregnancy. And the student said, what should I do in that scenario when that happens? Now, of course, there are going to be spirits there that never made full term, miscarriages, stillborns, and all that kind of stuff. A very, very difficult subject to approach. And of course, to some people, that may involve healing, hearing something like that, and to others, it may be very upsetting, taking their mind back to a place where they don't want it to go, basically. So there is like a rule in place that as evidential mediums, we're working constantly with evidence, things that can be verified. So I have a dad here, and he's 74, and he passes of a lung disease. You understand your father to be in the spirit world? Yes. With lung disease, yes, everything can be verified. With a child that didn't make full term, there is no evidence that we can offer. The argument will be, well, they can say everything that's been seen from the other side since that point, and I agree that that could be the case, but you also have to consider that most of that information can be pulled psychically. So to keep it in the mediumistic gear, we tend not to cover it, and this is just best all round for not doing these communications. No evidence can ever be given. Therefore, we can't do it. Second one, I suppose, karma. There's different philosophies all around the world, and we're no strangers to that. But we're mediums. We're here to give communication and get the validation, and then give them the message at the end. That's the role of what we're doing. We offer communication through validation. And karma is one of those subjects that just cannot be proved. Someone in the spirit world making amends, we just can't prove that. There is no validation at any point. So again, the best course of action here is to not discuss it during a one-to-one reading. And we've got to liken it to any other topic. We've got to keep it on subject. We don't talk about baseball during soccer or football for us in the UK. So we keep it within the boundaries of the subject, and our boundary as communicators for the spirit world, as mediums in mediumship, that's our boundary, and karma cannot be proved evidentially. Therefore, we keep it off the table. The next one is kind of a pet hate of mine, and many, this one will upset a few people, and I don't mean it to, but again, it needs to be spoken about and discussed on the video. And it will be a client turns up, you know, and they've lost their mum, their dad, their brother, their sister, their partner, whatever it'll be. And the medium didn't bring them forward. They brought through the baking nan, or a friend that, you know, there's not really much connection, I suppose, you know. And then at the end, the client goes, you know, my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister have just, you know, recently passed. I don't know why they didn't come through. Um, and the medium's response to that is, well, you know, they're busy. They couldn't make the appointment. They just weren't there today. Now, you have to look at the philosophy of your mediumship, or your spirituality, because the spirit world is omnipresent. It surrounds us every minute of every day. And it's very, very simple mechanic within mediumship, that if the client is in the room, every single one of their loved ones is in the room. They are not busy. And that is a human idea, that they have a job maybe, or they can't make the appointment. Time frames are completely different in the spirit world, and so they are not busy. The fault there lies with the medium. The medium, through their protocols or their process, reach for the communicator, and their mind hasn't found it. For whatever reason, there is, as I said at the start of the video, there is huge variables that run throughout this process. So in general, it's the medium's fault. They haven't found it. I always use my example that I usually get a nan come through from a developing medium, and yet my 18-year-old sister is absolutely stood there, and the mind of the medium has maybe not seen it, or seen it and gone, I'm not doing that, that's a bit edgy, I'll go with a nan. So it's a safety call. So there are many, as I said, many variables, but it will always fall on the lap of the medium. The medium hasn't found it because they are absolutely present at every reading. They are never too busy. Another one that we hear of a lot is the evolving of the spirit, you know, through their deeds that they done here on earth. They've been sent away. They've been sent to learn from their mistakes, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's again a ton of variations there that we've all heard, and again, none of it can be proved. None of it can be verified in any way. It's a simple process. I would do the communication to order to show you that your dad is there, your mum is there, your partner is there, whoever it is. I would go get them and do the communication and get it completely validated with in-depth information and evidence. So the evolvement, again, is a human idea, that yes, there is evolving going on in the background, but we are looking at it from a personalized point of view, that they are off somewhere learning from their mistakes. It is so different, the transition from a physical being to a spiritual being, and there is no evidence we can offer to get validated, and our role as a medium is validation through communication. So it's again best left off the table, because no evidence can be obtained at any point. So just leave it. Don't talk about it. Don't bring it up, and you stay within the boundaries of mediumship. Again, another touchy subject where maybe some people have been having a terrible experience in their life, and you know, for whatever reason, they've decided to take their own life, and now these people are, you know, helping other people because they're thinking about taking their life, or down those train of thoughts. Again, it's there's no evidence to support that. There's no evidence whatsoever that we can bring forward. Again, a massive no to be talking or discussing anything of that nature. That the only time we're talking about someone taking their own life is because we have someone in the room that love them very dearly, and they want the evidence for them. After that, we don't talk about where they are or what they're doing. There's this idea that that they're trapped or they're lost in some way, and this is just not true. We have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. We have no idea, because we are here in the physical, and to have that information, we would have to be the other side to know exactly what is going on. So I think it's very unprofessional to be discussing things on an assumption or on a belief. We have to, our role as the medium is to offer information and evidence, and this has to be strict. We have to stay within that. Anything less than that is just theory. And if we, there are many theories out there, and if we all followed different people's theories, that mediumship would be in a bigger state than we currently find it in. That they are absolutely, definitely not lost, because I connect with them when I have their loved ones there, so they absolutely made it there. What goes on that other side, we will never know. Well, we will know, but that day will be when we go there. And so again, I think it's just best we leave it off the table and don't discuss it. Our words have tremendous amount of power, and we can just throw out an idea, and through that idea may cause upset, trauma to a client, even though they may be sitting there smiling at you. The process that goes on in their mind, you will never know. So it's best just again to leave it out of all kind of development. It's just not worth the hassle that's gonna come from it, whether you see it or not. On the tail end of that one, contracts. Now, I'm someone that in my own opinion, not as a teacher, not as a demonstrator, just in my own quiet time at home, think that a lot of the things that have happened in my life, the way things have panned out, there's some kind of pre-design there. That's my idea. But I would never take that to a public platform, and I don't bring it into my mediumship. You all have a different idea of a god or a creator. You all have different ideas surrounding your spiritual journey as a whole, but we don't take that as a medium into mediumship. It's our quiet thoughts, so we leave it there. So again, like off the back of someone taking their own life, to offer that maybe they had contracted themselves to be here for a short time, the words are so damaging, so damaging. I can't think of anyone that would accept that as a statement and be happy about accepting that as a statement for someone that they love so dearly. And here they sit with a medium in front of them saying, well, it was their contract, that's what they decided, and they bowed early. I can't think of anything worse to be receiving, and especially with someone like myself, with my own personal story, with my 18-year-old sister that left the earth and went to spirit. I think I'd be offended if a medium said to me, it was her contract. That's what she decided, and so she was only due to be here for a short amount of time. It is, it's trouble. It's trouble. I would just again leave the personal ideas for your own quiet space, not to be shared with everybody else. Again, my opinion, and you'll have your own. I think for the ethics of mediumship, it's best left alone. Other things like when someone's passed and there's clients there having their reading, and a medium will say things like, you'd understand that they're your soulmate. Now, again, it's one of those grey areas within mediumship. The client's there. They love the person so much, and terminology has been bandied around for years now, and so the client may understand that they were their soulmate. They had such a connection. That's why they were married, or that's why whatever. Fill in the blank. So it's an understandable statement. But then we go down the other angle where people have the idea that soulmates are friends that are in the spirit world, and you've come here and you're meant to do this and you're meant to find each other and you're meant to go. Yeah, I mean, the stories and variables again are just enormous. Unfortunately, again, none of it can be verified. There is no validation or evidence to support the idea. Look at mediumship or spiritualism as a philosophy, and everything is oneness, then every single person is a soulmate. Does it need the terminology? Again, a huge grey area, and one that can go down various pathways of trouble. I would just leave it out. I wouldn't bring it up. I wouldn't say it. I would just keep the mind on the job of getting the evidence, and let the evidence do the talking, let your mediumship do the talking, and everything else is opinion or ideas that's within your mind. Just keep it off the table. Another one that we have slightly touched upon already, but a different variation, but again, a very common scenario that we all find ourselves hearing or witnessing in some way. And someone that's done so many wrongs, and they are now trapped in a limbo. They're not allowed to go to the spirit world. They're not allowed to communicate from the spirit world until they have righted those wrongs. That's again a false statement. That does not happen. They are accountable for their words, their thoughts, their motives. They are accountable, but they do go to the spirit world, and because they do go to the spirit world, they can communicate if the medium's mind will allow the communications to happen. So at no point can a communicator not turn up because they've done so many wrongs, and there is no limbo. It's a transition from one to the other. There is no in between. So again, one of those things that definitely shouldn't be said in a reading, for all the excuses and reasons prior to this example. The one that probably irritates me the most, and many people that do mediumship to the extent that we do it, is that the loved one's stuck. They're stuck there somewhere, in between worlds. They need help. They need help getting to the light. And again, this is just absolute nonsense. This is not real. This is not fair to the people that are coming for a reading. You cannot say to someone, I tried to get your mum, or I tried to get your dad, but I'm informed, or I believe that they're stuck. They need help. I can help, or I will find help to get your mum to the light. This is absolute nonsense. Infuriating for people like myself that work in mediumship on a daily basis, and have invested so much time and effort into mediumship, for people upon social media platforms to just be saying or promoting ideas like this. It is not real. It's I've said it in previous videos. It is a instant transition from the physical body to the spirit world. There is no grey area. It's from one to the other every time. The law is perfect. So it's that's not right. Definitely do not say that ever. Don't even think that, because that's not right. Just get it gone. Do not bring that into your mediumship or your readings. The damage that can be caused from that statement is untold. It will just ripple through, and we have seen it. Someone has said that late 1800s, and that idea is still present today in 2020. Shows you the damage that can be caused from statements like that. So definite no-no within mediumship. Another one that's going to fall into this banner of ethics is when a medium has their client and they say, "Spirit tells me that you need to sell your house. Spirit tells me you should leave him or her. Spirit's telling you to," and Spirit will never tell you to do anything. Even if you want them to tell you, they will not tell you. That is not the process. That is not how it works. You are here for experience and a journey. They are there for support and encouragement through that journey, through that experience that you are going through. That will be through the highs and through the lows, but they will never tell you what to do, not in any stretch of the imagination. So if you think that statement can be in the reading, it definitely can't. It's one of those that should be completely erased from the mind. The power that goes with that it is untold. I shared a story on a recent Zoom class the other day that I have people that follow me around a lot of my demonstrations, you know, and I love it that they support me, and I see the regular face at a demonstration and whatever. Now that person or people hold my connection, my relationship with the spirit world in very high regard. That's why they follow me around. They want to see the mediumship. They want to support the mediumship. If I was to turn round to any of those and say, the spirit world are telling me to tell you to fill in the blank, I think they would do it. I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that they would do it. Now, that can cause a tremendous amount of trouble in every variation. I mean, fill in the blank with anything and you start to see the damage that can be caused. So again, as a very simple process and a very simple boundary within that of mediumship, just don't say it. Spirit are never and cannot and will not ever tell you to do fill in the blank. Obviously there'll be times where it seems harmless, you know, like the spirit are telling me you should get out into nature more. It's a harmless statement, you know, and it'll probably do them good. Who knows? A bit of fresh air and a little bit of exercise will do you good. The spirit world aren't telling you. It can be offered like, maybe you should get out a little bit more. Maybe take walks, maybe go get some fresh air, maybe exercise a little bit more. You'll feel better for it. But don't say it as spirit are telling me to tell you get out in nature more, do exercise, blah blah blah. So a harmless scenario. But we've all seen the scenarios where well, I imagine I've seen so many that other people must have seen it, where you've got to leave him or her, you know, sell the house. The spirit world telling me to sell the house. You've got to write a book. You've got to travel the world. You've got to fill in the blank. Now it becomes a bit of an issue. Breaking families, moving, selling stuff, all that kind of stuff. The spirit world are not there for that. So it's just a no. Just don't even venture onto that pathway. The trouble that goes with it is just, again, untold. The next one's probably more seen now with our current climate. I've got no real easy way of wording it, but the spirit world's opinion on world events. And we've seen a huge increase of late with the current situation we find ourselves in. Now, this is not actually happening. The spirit world are absolutely not telling us what's going on in the future, and especially around things like a pandemic or anything like that. They're not telling us what to do or how to get through it or anything like that. It's not, again, it's not the role. It'll be the mind of the medium that is very much thinking about that, and therefore it will be presented within their mediumship. You know, communication is communication. I'm not someone that's going to be taking communication from someone that I don't know and love and can give validation from. if some dude wants to turn up from the spirit world and start talking to me about world events, future events, and the future of mankind, then they're going to have to be really, really good to give me information. I'm not going to sit down and go, okay, I'm sitting here listening. Give me the formula that I can take to a university, a hospital university. Give me the formula that solves this problem. I'll write it down and I'll pass it on for you, no problems. And then take it to a university and they go, oh my God, that actually works. Let's roll this out across the world. Other than that, it's delusion. Who knows? I don't know why people are doing it. I don't know what it's all about. You know, some people may find a sense of comfort in there. But again, as I stated at the start of this video, evidence. It's got to be on evidence and validation of communication. Other than that, it falls into all different categories and it does you and your reputation no good. So I would personally stay completely clear of anything of that nature. So another one that is very regular, I've seen it so many times myself, you know. Let's try and give it an obvious one. Let's say you're a healer. You've gone to a demonstration and the medium comes to you. And then they say things like, "Oh, I'm aware with you over there that you're a healer, and you know Archangel Michael." And then they go, "Yeah," and then all the big guns fly out. You know, Jesus and, you know, all the big names that you get with this kind of community. Now, again, it's one of those things that, you know, if there is, let me come at it from this angle. If I'm teaching someone that's very new and they have a very religious background, let's say in Catholicism, then a lot of their awareness or their idea has been cultured through the understanding of a God through Catholicism. So things like nuns and bishops and Jesus and archangels is going to be very, very easy for them to find within their mind because of their schooling, their home life, their education. So when we say as a teacher to a student, right, what we're going to do is we're going to work with a guide. The mind will project something that feels comfortable to that of the individual. And in this instance, that would be someone like a nun or a bishop or a priest or Jesus or an angel. That relationship right there is very personal to the individual, the student, very, very personal. That relationship doesn't need to be shared with anybody else. It's a personal relationship with the spirit world. So for a medium to then start be giving it, of course, that's the awareness. That's in the psychic. It's in the awareness. I'm aware that you have an idea that you're working with Archangel Michael. It is not to be said out loud. It's okay if they want to think that, and their work speaks volumes for them. You know, they're off and they're doing great healings and everything like that, but they don't need to be telling people, I work with Archangel Michael, so my healing's more special than someone that works with Bob. It's just the facilitation to get you there. So we are never to discuss guides anyway, never ever, and especially in a mediumship format where we're giving it to the sitter. I've done a whole video on why we shouldn't give guides, but it's still very, very present within the community, and it really, really does need to stop. There's no evidence that can back any of it anyway. So again, a huge no within mediumship. Another one I see so many problems with is past life scenarios. Now, I think I've done a video on the past life stuff, and there, at no point again can we offer any kind of evidence to support any of it. If we could, then we could maybe give it more credibility, but we can't, and that's why it's sort of in a grey area also. It's one of those that when mediums say, you know, well, you keep having this relationship problem because of a past life, it is just like a sellout. We can't be saying that, you know, especially if someone's going through a relationship issue. The last thing they want to hear is that it's because they were naughty in their past life. Whatever happened in a past life, if it happened in a past life, if there is a past life, has no value in this life. If you understand spirit, then you would understand that the lessons learned or achieved within that past life stop with that past life. If it didn't, there would be no talk of the karma, because you can't take karma on for 10 lives. It's taken on as a spirit if you have that philosophy. So it's not going to carry over into each life. People would stop coming back. It's like, oh, I'm not doing it again. I've had 7 past lives and all of them have ended in absolute disaster. I give up. I just give up. I don't want to do it anymore. So we absolutely cannot give that into a reading. We cannot offer it as a statement. There is no validation. There is no evidence to support it. Again, it has to be left off the table. Now, I knew this was going to be a long video, so I'm going to make this the last one. So, but understand, there are so many variations. I could have spoke for hours just on my own experiences, on what I have heard or seen with my own eyes and ears. But I've tried to pick some of the most common ones that you will be seeing in your day-to-day groups or within mediumship around you. And the last one is one that happens a lot, and again, I stress we have to stop it. We have to get rid of it from mediumship, and that is health. We cannot be talking about health whatsoever. Now, in the UK, I don't know about the US, but in the UK, it is against the law for me to act as a doctor. And that is in effect what you are doing while doing mediumship. You cannot be offering advice on any kind of remedies or potions or anything. We're not allowed. It's actually against the law here in the UK. And so we just stay clear of it. Now, of course, there will be people that pick up on that through the psyche. If someone walks in, you may be aware that there is something going on with the lungs. You may be aware of that. In the psychic, there may be even more obvious ones. You know, people come in with walking aids, a wheelchair. That's a little bit more obvious because you can see it in front of you. You can't then go into a message about having difficulty walking. It's almost, it's so obvious that we don't need to say it. But we absolutely cannot do that. Talk about it in any stretch of the imagination. Now, again, here in the UK, it is against the law, so you will land yourself in very hot water if you are venturing down this route. But again, it's one of those things that are very troublesome within the mind of the client. Now, there will be some things that you say that you don't realize that has the power with that. They may go away and silently worry for a little while. And this can cause huge amounts of problems later on. Now, I remember a reading that I did a few years ago now. And, you know, bless her, she was trying to do me a favor, but actually could have landed me in very hot water. And I'm sure I've shared the story on one of the videos prior. But a lady comes to me for a reading, and I was aware that she was worried or things weren't quite right in her head. So I simply said, as me, you know, if you're worried about any kind of health issue, just go book an appointment with your doctor. They're qualified. They'll give you an MOT, like the once over, and, you know, and put your mind at rest. Nice and simple. So go get a check. Put it to bed. Like, don't worry about it. And now I can carry on with my reading. Now, that woman went to the doctor. That's exactly what she did. She went to the doctor, and she booked her appointment to get the one over, just to put her mind at ease. And they found cancer. They found cancer, and it ended up saving her life. But she credited that to me, and I really didn't want any kind of credit for that, because it was just a throwaway statement. You know, just go book an appointment. If you're worried about it, just go do it. Because a lot of clients will come in and ask for advice on health. You know, I'm not feeling great. What should I do? And it's not our role. Our role is an evidential communication. That's our role. We're not there for the coaching. There are coaches that have gone through training to be coaches. There are doctors that have been through training to be doctors. Mediums have been through training to do mediumship, communication. That's it. That's where your boundaries lie. So, you know, she had cancer, and thankfully, she survived it. She went through chemo, and everything was great. I saw that lady maybe 2 years, 2 years later, in my hometown. She starts shouting out, "Oh my God, this man saved my life. He told me I had cancer." And I was like, "No, I did not. I absolutely did not say that. I never said that." No, well, you told me just book an appointment, because she asked, you know, "Can you let me know about my health?" And so it's an absolute no-no. We stay well clear. Doctors are doctors, actors are actors, mediums are mediums, healers are healers. The boundaries are there, and you know, this is what falls into the ethics. We need to get this locked down. Too many people are trying to do too many things and trying to be some kind of superhero or something like that. It's just a voice. You're just a voice. You're giving the information from the spirit world through evidence, through validation. Everything else is not mediumship. So I know even before I edit this video, the trouble it's going to cause. I know that. And as I said at the start of the video, I don't want the trouble. I don't want the aggro. However, the video does need to be created, because I am asked endlessly on the topic. And I try to do these videos as a point of reference or information for developing mediums that don't cost thousands of pounds. They're free up on YouTube. So, you know, if I offended, my apologies. I think if you just keep the line nice and clear, transparent throughout, you will do yourself the world of good on your journey through mediumship. Always rely on the evidence. Let your evidence do the talking. And anything else beyond that may fall into the bracket of egotism, or wanting to be good, or wanting, you know, wishes and wants. So keep it just down one line. You will stay extremely grounded that way, and your evidence will be your evidence. You can be, you know, judged upon it that way. And most of you want good mediumship. The people that are messaging me want good mediumship. And this is the recipe to good mediumship. Just work with the evidence. No assumptions, no "I believe this," and because none of it can be verified. So everything that can be verified, give, and that way you should be on a very even keel along your spiritual development. So let me know in the comments. I'm sure this one will get a few comments. So get in the comments, let me know what you've heard or what you've seen or what you've done. Now you regret, because we've all done it. I mean, we've all done it. And I understand it can be an easy mistake, but it can also be very, very damaging. So let me know in the comments what you've experienced or had or done. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you aren't already. And it's going to be a few days before the next video because of the diary. I'm extremely busy. A lot going on over the next few days. So I'll get the next video up as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you lot next time.